live.
Woo!
How are you? I'm literally putting a story on right now on Instagram so that you guys have the link. There it goes. To come into the green room with us. So if anybody wants to join us in the shelter with Bobbi and Mara. And meanwhile, I haven't seen you in a while, Bobbi, because you were out of town and I was out of town, but we have the solstice that literally just happened. My understanding and even my feeling, because I've been a hot mess, quite frankly, is that this has been a really chaotic time, I guess, astrologically and energetically. But I'm just wondering from your standpoint, and just, I know your peeps know who you are, and my peeps probably do at this point, but just so you guys know who Bobbi is, she is a medical intuitive, a psychic, a medium. She is the founder of Etheric Medicine, has a healing center in Long Beach, has been amazingly, is such a good friend to me, but also an amazing healer for me and my grieving mamas and so many others that I refer to her. And I'm so grateful that we get to come on and play together and also help you. So if you go to my Facebook page and also on the YouTube channel, you should see a link that goes to this green room of our little show. And we're going to take the first 4 people that come on and help you one-on-one. Bobbi's going to get all her downloads from her guides. I'm going to jump in with my more logistical thinking mind, and we're going to work together to help you find the shelter that you need in this crazy spiritual storm we've all been in lately. So, Bobbi, what's your sense? What are they telling you, or what's your sense of what's going on?
It's it feels like, right, just when you think that it can't get any more frenetic or intense, that it's possible that happens again. But what's interesting when you're talking about that and asking a question, that everything right now, at least in this moment, looks like segmented chunks of dismembered energy, and like a lot of yelling, and there's just so much. It feels like chaos and like a lot of stuff dredged up, and it's sort of now it's what's there is like it's floating in this space, and we need to just speak to and intend to be transmuting that instead of adding to it.
Okay. And so I think, this disjointed, chaotic stuff I've been feeling too. I also a lot of division and a lot of animosity, and a lot of people like kind of in their own echo chambers.
Yeah.
And I don't just mean with politics. We're definitely all in our own echo chambers with politics, but with everything.
Yeah.
And I think we're just all being bombarded with the feeling of chaos, with 24/7, we're being bombarded with fear, basically. So someone is on, I see Claudia Gutierrez is on. She's saying, please pick me. But Sam, she's in the waiting room.
Yeah, I got her. I can let her in.
You got her? Good. All right. Well, goody. Let's just dive in. Are you ready to dive in, Bobbi? All right. There's Claudia. Hi.
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 And you guys remember, like Claudia, just click on that link that Sam, our producer, is putting up on Facebook and on YouTube. I put it up on Instagram stories. We're taking the first 4 people, and we're working with you one-on-one. So what I'm going to do, just so you know how this works, Claudia, I don't know if you caught the last show, but I'm going to let you just briefly give us the story of what you're struggling with, or what you're questioning, or what you want, what you're looking for. And then I'm going to try real hard. As you've noticed, it's hard for me but I'm going to try real hard to be quiet while Bobbi listens, because often her guides are talking to her and I'm like, talking, and she can't concentrate. So I'm going to stay quiet and let her get her information. So it may be, just so you guys know, it may be quiet for a minute while she's getting whatever she's getting. And then she's going to jump in first, hopefully without me interrupting. And then I'll put in my 10 cents or 2 cents or whatever they are too. Sound good?
Awesome. Yes.
So tell us what's going on.
This is crazy because, well, number one, I've been a huge fan of yours for many, many years. So I can't believe this is happening, because I'm at work and I just happened to see your Facebook thing pop up, and I did all the steps really quickly, and I can't believe I'm here.
And here you are. See?
Thank you.
This is how divine timing works.
Yes. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia about 20 years ago, and I've never felt well since then. And I've done everything you could possibly think of, and seen many, many doctors, and I just have never been able to get any type of help. I've done functional medicine. I've done, traditional medicine. I do yoga. I do meditation. I do cleanses. I mean, you name it. And so I don't know. I guess, like I said, I wasn't even planning on this. I wish I would have known. I would have made more notes or asked for more questions. But I feel like that would be a place to start for me because there was a time where I just had given up and I just figured this is how my life's going to be. I'm always just going to feel tired. I'm always just going to feel depressed and sad and achy. And then I go back to trying new things and, researching some more. But yeah, I've never been able to find any answers to why I feel the way I feel.
Beautiful. I think that in and of itself is a very powerful question. You didn't need to prepare anything.
Yeah. So lots of things that drop in practical, I've worked with thousands of people, right? But, we could talk about healing. What kind of emotional healing have you done? I'm sure you've done a lot, but, what I know and what is, let's say alive in you or, obvious for me in you is the clumpy stagnation energetically, whether that has duplicated. Obviously it's duplicated into the physical body, right? Because you feel the way that you feel. And so, but every sort of autoimmune type full body thing, well, pretty much everything begins with a level of anxiety, post-traumatic stress, unhealed wounds, self-loathing is coming up for you. I know this is a public forum, right? So I try to not go too deep here, but and breathing, right? Breathing, it seems like too simple for people, right? Breathing deep and oxygenating because you have your etheric body and your physical body, right? And so right now, it has manifested in your physical, your feelings towards yourself that were prevalent before this duplicated right into your hologram called the physical body. So things always get more and more intense, whether it's pain, illness, emotional stuff, all of that, when it's really up to heal. And we can't, there's no bypassing the simple. I know I talked about breathing, so I'll get back to that, peeps. Is because you're not oxygenating, you're the stagnation that's so prevalent in your body. Also, you're being overtaxed by all those things that you're doing. And if you've heard anything that I have talked about, why we're here, why Dr. Laura and I also are doing this is so that people can get a break from doing all those things outside of themselves, the supplements, the this, the that, the this, the that, all these different things. Your body is really taxed by all of those things and feeling very separate from you. And you're not seeing.
Wait, sorry, her body feels separate from her? Is that
her body is saying that it feels, that might seem too simple, but your body is saying you don't feel exactly what it is saying is it doesn't feel like you're seated in it. Oh, did she have to go? Probably.
I don't know. But she'll watch this later. I think we'll keep going if there's more you want to say.
Yeah. She was at work. So first I want you to hear that when people come on here and we're talking and spirits coming in, that you're giving us permission, me, to do work on you energetically. And so that's what was happening with her as well. So rest assured, Claudia, if you end up feeling a little more intense or clogged or poopy or achy or whatever, that's okay. Drink a lot more water, take way deeper breaths, consciously sit. You don't have to get into a meditative state. We just have to breathe. Like, we have to intend and understand that, like, yes, our etheric body is light, but scientifically our cells are bursting with light, right? So we need oxygen, you can think of as light. And you want to pull that in to get your body moving. And whoever else is listening that has anything, whether it's autoimmune or anything, breathing is not a supplement. Drinking water, taking walks, jumping up and down, right? Moving your body, draining your lymphatic system. And what kept coming in, it was just so interesting that I just did this yesterday for the first time, is ozone, IV ozone, which literally like infuses, your blood. So you should take a look at doing that as well. But definitely anybody who's listening, and Claudia, for you, that is like overloading yourself with all these different regimens and trying to throw spaghetti at a wall to force your body to heal, it's not going to work. It doesn't work.
So let me ask you this, Bobbi, because some of the things we're going through, which you referred to actually, was I definitely, and we know this. I mean, Eastern or Western medicine doesn't really address this, but pretty much every chronic inflammatory disease has trauma underneath it, right? Usually earlier in life or unresolved PTSD. And so, Claudia, we'll just add in, I think you said you've done some therapy. I know you said lots of other things, but we're assuming you've done some sort of PTSD work. If you haven't, you probably, and I know you follow me, you've probably heard me talk about this a million times. Somatic experiencing would be so powerful for you, not only for the trauma healing for anyone who's had any kind of trauma, but also super, super important. It really hit me, and I feel I totally agree with you, Bobbi, that, it's easy. First of all, when you have a chronic disease, this happens. Second of all, when you have trauma, this happens. And third of all, for most of us, we're just walking around the world this way, that we're not in our bodies.
Right.
And when you're really uncomfortable in your body, you're much less likely to want to hang out there, right? So any kind of embodiment work that brings you back into your body, which somatic experiencing does, I think, would help, because in my experience, and I haven't had lifetime of chronic illnesses, but I've certainly had inflammatory diseases like cancer and other things, that the more my body feels like I'm in it, the less it has to scream at me to come into it.
But yes, and I love that. But what's dropping in here is that this is like a wonderful tool. There's a lot of really great tools out there, but what's happening, and the problem is that even with that wonderful tool, if you go into it like a drive-by, like it's just another thing that you're going to try to do, it isn't going to work, because the whole point of anything, of any illness, of anything, is to bring us to our healing.
Yeah.
So if you're not going in with the intention to compassionately support your body that has been through everything, that doesn't get to forget. Hi there.
We were talking about you.
It does.
I just lost. I had to move because my computer, I don't know what it did.
Don't worry, and you'll be able to watch this back, so don't worry. But yeah, so I think what we're saying is that doing whatever you can with compassion, with love, without it being like a problem solution, I got to fix this kind of thing, but anything that will bring you back home to your body. And let me ask you this, Bobbi, what do you think about her doing breath work? Because I have found that that's tremendously helpful, not only in major oxygenation, because you were talking about the stagnation and kind of cleaning the pipes, but also like really energetically. And once again, all of these suggestions I'm making, right, are not intended. Bobbi was just saying before you came on that we have to be really careful about the intention with which we go about healing modalities. And some of them that I mentioned were somatic experiencing, connected to embodiment work around trauma healing, but also, but okay, you're right. I'm not going to, they're telling you something. Say what you're
but it's important, Claudia, because you're the one on here that has provoked all this information today, which is a gift for everyone, A. Yeah. But B, most importantly, this is specific to you. You weren't on when I said it, but there's for you specifically, there's that every time when you were explaining about the things that you've already done to try to help yourself, they use the analogy of like a drive-by. It's like you've gone through like a drive-through to do all those things instead of consciously like collaborating in the most kindest, gentlest way with yourself. And that's really hard to do when you're at odds with yourself, right? Which is your core issue. And I don't have to go so deep on this forum again with it, but like that separation from self and that divisiveness that is the feeling within your body. That's how your body feels. That's what it's telling me. That the most powerful place to start is far simpler than anyone would try to sell you, or market to you. And that just is a truth, right? It's far simpler, which is to begin just breathing. Breath work is always good, but you can't go from here to breath work. That's what Spirit is saying. Your guides are saying you need to start with the literal fundamental, with the basics, which is intentionally sitting at your desk and breathing in for 7, hold for 1, exhale for 7. You count to 7. It's a nice slow thing. You don't have to do it all day, but if you can, even they're like, hey, put a note on your desk or set your alarm on your phone or do whatever, so that you're like, oh yeah, it's time for me to give myself and my body some breath, some oxygen, and some light.
And I would say, I would add to that to go on, if you go to, and maybe we can put it in the link too, if you have it, Sam, but we can, if you go to drlauraberman.com to the Quantum Love page, there's a really good grounding meditation there that just gently brings you back into your body. And when I had cancer and was really, and I know everyone's different and it may not be exactly the same for you, but I was really disembodied because of that and because of a lot of other trauma. And so in the beginning, I would put sticky notes up, in my office, in my car, on my bathroom mirror that just said ground. And it just takes like 3 to 5 breaths, deep breaths while you're doing it. So you get the added benefit of the breath while you do it. But there's a process of just like pulling light into and grounding yourself into the earth and you feel yourself coming back into your body. And my guess is you're going to start to realize how out of your body, for good reasons, you've been. And so the message that I was getting from Bobbi is that that's a big part of what's causing a lot of your issues, is that the body, the more we disengage from it, the more it's uncomfortable to be in our bodies, the more we disengage. The more we disengage, the louder our bodies scream for us to come back.
And that's going to get you to do it one way or another.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a whole nother, as my practice is called etheric medicine, right? There's another, like on my thing, there's, Spirit taught me breathing the light, and that's for the etheric body. Because without a healthy etheric body, the physical body can't follow, right? You need to clear the etheric, which is like, there's the instructions are on there, is like clearing, literally taking and clearing stagnation. You don't have to be able to see it. You just have to intend it.
Where do they find that, Bobbi?
It's actually on the home page of my website, ethericmedicine.com. It's also on the YouTube page, Breathing the Light. There's a couple different levels that I made a video about, but that also brings you into your body. allows you to like start asking for help from spirit, from your guides.
So is that one of the reasons why I feel like I get what you said about like, you know, just running through all these different types of things, but I do feel like I prioritize you know, finding connection and, you know, being centered and in the moment. I've done everything from, you know, clearing my energy, working on chakras, and maybe that's it. It's too much, too many different things that I'm trying. And I feel like I'm going to be 53 next month. I just am trying to start a new career, and
so
I just don't feel like I'm.
So here's the thing that I need to say that's coming through, which is all these modalities are very powerful, right? Chakra balance, you know, all the things. But if you're not ready for it, if your energy, if you're, you know, because there's an agenda to the healing, right? Which has to start in the compassion and the self-love process, you know, and all these things. But you know, so it would be good for you because we're needing to, you're like all disjointed energetically. Don't let it scare you. It's like, it's okay. Like most of us are, right? That's why, but you're like, dee, 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 dee.
I feel that. I feel that like in my heart. I feel that in my head. Like I always feel like just,
yeah.
I just want to feel, yeah.
So this is why, right. So this is why you want to get back to basics. Let's back to basics. Never mind. Cause you're taking, what are you taking right now? How many different things are you taking supplement wise?
I actually just finished a course of some supplements for liver detox and adrenal support, because the functional medicine doctor that I've been seeing, that's what she suggested.
Can you ask her if it's okay if you kind of now just let your body work with what it just went through? Can you take a break? You know,
I was actually planning on doing that myself the other day when I saw that I was pretty much done with it.
Yeah.
It's expensive to see functional medicine doctors. So I was going to just take a little break on that and see how I felt.
Yeah.
I literally just thought of that for myself. I never asked her. I just decided, you know what, I'm going to give it a break. I can't afford right now to go sit back and see her because it's, you know, several $100s every time I go see her. And I had literally just thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a break and see how I feel.
Yeah. Good for you. That's a great start. Good for you. Listen to your own body and what your body's echoing here is, even if you could afford it, you still should, you know, your body wants, have faith, start building faith, right, in your body, and that it is working with that without you even knowing it. It is working to reorganize itself, rid itself of, like, it's miraculous, right? What's happening right here, right now, in this very moment. But we have to give space to that.
Space and breath and integration and grounding. And that's really important to say also. And I know we have other people waiting. I just want to make sure we can get to everyone. But I think what you said is also really important to highlight, Bobbi, because I've seen this in action, that while we're talking, like they, you know, spirit, the spiritual world, our angels, our guides, our spiritual support, the spiritual support that's here with Bobbi, but also with you, they, you know, can't help unless we ask.
Yeah.
And she has asked, and they are coming through. Like before we even started, they have been coming through in service to healing and helping. So even while all this is going on, there's a lot of help and healing through the words we're saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also just energetically, you are being supported in what's next. We all are. Everyone who's here right now is being supported. So just that as well.
Yeah. Will you take a breath into your heart right now? Let's all of us do it. Because your body's reorganizing. You know, sometimes our bodies just need to be heard. It's really cute. I think it's cute because just like all of us, right? We all, sometimes just being heard is healing enough. And now your body can calm down. It got heard and now come back into energetic alignment. So you want to support it and say yes to that, right? Say yes.
Here I am.
I heard you. You can say when we get off of this or now or whatever, like, thank you. I heard you. I'm here to support. Thank you for sharing. You know, thank you for putting pain in my body so I can heal. Right? But let it know you heard it, and it sounds nuts, but it's miraculous once the body knows that you're understanding what it needs and that it's your team. You two are a team.
Yeah. And it's not your enemy, and it's not a bad little girl, and it hasn't done anything wrong. It's just hurting and needing and wanting your connection and protection. You know?
What's making you cry?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. It just came.
That's good. Your heart opened up. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're not there. I think it doesn't feel like sad tears.
Oh, it
feels like grace. Yeah. Feels like grace to me, those tears.
Yeah, it just came very quickly. I didn't want to cry. Sorry, but
listen, I cry every 5 minutes. Don't worry about it.
No, like seriously though, as we wrap this, it, like really, that is a sign. That's such a beautiful sign that you know your body comes back into alignment energetically and got to heal and be close to you, right? To be connected to you. That's so beautiful.
That's what I want. That's what I've been searching for.
Well, this is what it feels like right here.
Right now. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. You're welcome.
And check out check out Bobbi's website. Check out my You're Not Crazy, You're Just Ascending book also, because there's a lot of stuff in there about embodiment and about becoming friends with your body and about like tuning into the full body yes. You know, a lot of those things as well, just as you're like coming back into yourself. We're sending you so much love. Keep us posted, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now we have, I think, Lucinda next. Is that right?
Sorry, there goes a nice release.
Clear in the air for Lucinda.
Woo! Well, there was a huge release just came out. Yeah. Hi there.
That's why I'm so hot. All of a sudden,
it's really hot.
Flash.
Yeah. Hi there.
Right. Hello. Tell us what's up.
Oh boy. I had breast cancer, and then I fell down some stairs and I triple fractured my ankle. Then I had emergency gallbladder surgery, and I just a week ago had to have a heart ablation because I'm on like a oral aromatase inhibitor, which is hormone therapy post breast cancer. I say because of that, but chemotherapy, radiation, and such seems to have impacted my heart. And so all the physical things like require so many doctor's appointments and procedures and surgery and just things that I never thought I would be going through. And I just feel at a loss. Like I'm sad. I'm lonely. I'm listening to you. I'm detached. I know I'm detached from myself. I kind of don't know where to turn. I had to stop working, so now we financially have to sell our house, and the house has been on the market, and blah, blah, blah. And anyway, so you popped into my world today, and I already feel like, okay, I have been asking for help. I have been asking spirits. I have been asking every area I can, and just looking for some more support, I guess.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, obviously it's here, right? Yeah. I mean, this is the first and foremost, the most beautiful thing to acknowledge from them is that you aren't alone and that all this is being overseen. And you're, you know, the thing that's like most prevalent is like how beautiful your heart is and how huge your heart is and what a kind person you are. And that's important to know because because it could be easy to start questioning that, especially when there's a lot of talk, you know, a lot of different things out there saying, oh, I must have done something to, you know, bring this on. And is that something that's going on for you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is, you know, in this short amount of time that we have, these are like, this is prevalent for you to hear that, A, you're not alone. All this is being overseen. You're surrounded by guides, angels, the loved ones on the other side, couple of dogs, all the stuff. But that, like, to reiterate or to validate to you that, like, you haven't done anything wrong.
Okay.
You're, you know, your perseverance and your strength is catching up with you. There's no other way to say that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that's what this is about, is like sitting you here, holding you still, if right, kind of is a way to keep you from getting through this in the way that you typically get through everything, your perseverance and all these other things. Not that that's not like phenomenal and it has served you well, but it's also like you matter.
Yeah.
You matter.
Yeah. I don't feel like I matter right now.
Right. But you do. Like, you matter to a lot of people, but you matter. We're all surrounded, but you're very, like, the whole room is full. And
what do you mean the whole room is full of her peeps?
Yeah, of your peeps and angels, and like, not because they're coming to get you. They say not because we're coming to get you, but because we're here to support you in this and holding you, like, literally, like, not holding you down, but like infusing you and giving you, let them give you strength. They say, how about that? Let us give you strength, because you're always the one giving strength.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And I have yet, being a breast cancer survivor myself, I have yet to meet a breast cancer warrior or someone with breast cancer or a survivor of breast cancer who doesn't overgive to the entire world and under-receive herself. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, one of the things that I have really, that Bobbi, because one of Bobbi's specialties is, as she says, breaking the faith seal. She's really been helping me with that. But this feels like something really important for you too, because, you know, that I've been just struggling lately with my youngest leaving for college and it very appropriately not caring to spend more than 5 seconds with me unless he's asking for something. I mean, that's age appropriate and he's trying to separate, but I'm having all these abandonment issues coming up and all of these fears. And one of the things, you know, that Bobbi's guidance has really helped me with is that I am learning, because I never learned, and anyone who's an overgiver, I can guarantee you hasn't learned either, how to lean on spirit, how to pull in, you know, your deepest emotional heart's desire, like what I really need right now. I'm not talking about the logistical stuff, finance, you know, that's something else, but that feeling of like not being alone, right? Of held and supported and loved. That is flowing into you in huge waves. That is available to you. It's right there. It's happening. You're just not tapping into and tuning into it. And what we do instead is try to find it outside ourselves and, you know, in my son and my husband, whatever. But that's not where the real, I mean, not that that support isn't important, but the kind of, like, when I'm thinking about this room of angels that's surrounding you, it's access like right in the center of your heart, you know?
Okay.
where there's a lot of inflammation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you have a lot of inflammation around, not encompassing, but around your heart. And, and Laura, thank you. Because the addition to that is that, you get to take up space. That's the whole you matter. And there's a really old unhealed wound of that you don't get to take up space, that you have to constantly put yourself aside for other people's needs. You can't need anything. Or if you do, you just have to figure out how to manage it some other time.
Exactly.
That's what I see you doing as a little kid, is like, wow, some other time, maybe some other time. Well, the time is now, right? And so this is like where your work is, right? Because this is emotional. We don't have all this stuff because you have a lot weighing on you, right? On your heart, on your body, the lungs, all the things. And so you just start contemplating, right? Like, and allowing yourself to receive. Breathe through how uncomfortable that is. That's what they're saying, is breathe through, start small, right? Let when people bring you something or wait or want to care for you, let them do it. You don't have to move the glass first, they're saying. You don't have to make room for the lunch that they're bringing you. Let
others serve you.
Let others serve you, and let yourself feel what it feels like, because you deserve it. You've always deserved it.
And I will just add in before, because I know we have to go. Sam's saying we have a lot of people waiting, but I want to say that my sense is that many people do, in the practical realm, not just in the spiritual realm, are willing and wanting to support you, but there is a fear in you of being a burden and almost a block to receiving, like because of that probably, but so there isn't the energetic opening to welcome in service to you, support for you. I don't mean just in the spiritual realm, I mean in the practical realm. So
Right.
I really encourage you to explore some of the things we were talking about with Claudia earlier around the meditation on Bobbi's on ethericmedicine.com, the light breathing, and in sort of going into your heart. And really, like, one of the exercises that I've been doing lately is, I'll ask myself, like, what is my deepest heart's desire in this moment? And it may be different every moment and every day and whatever, but if I'm really struggling or feeling anxious or feeling sad or scared, what is it that my deepest heart's desire right now? Oh, it's to feel held, to feel like no matter what happens, I'm supported. Like, that's been the most recent one. So I'm using that as an example. And then I sort of ground, put all of my conscious awareness into the very center of my heart. And I just imagine it opening and welcoming that in from spirit, from my ethereal support system, from my angels and guides. Like, even if I'm not getting it from my kid or from my friend, whatever else out there, that's not what I'm even focused on in that moment. I'm focused on and it's very subtle, but you will feel, because the minute you ask for it and open to it, it is right there because it's already happening. All you have to do is and you will feel it flowing into you. And it's really quite astounding and so beautiful. And so I feel like if you can start creating practice like that, and also really welcoming in, like Bobbi said, in the smallest ways, welcoming in receiving and support in the 3D world around you, and maybe even getting to the point where you can ask for support. But right now, just welcoming it in and being receiving and gracious and not trying to take care of them, but let them take care of you. I think that would make such a huge difference.
And two things to follow up with what Laura said. It's also okay to, when you first start with this process to cry because you have no idea what it is that you need to, and to let that just be like, okay, you know, and to not be like, why can't I, you know, all the stuff. Like, it's okay to cry because you're like, holy crap, I have no idea. And then lastly, because we have to go, your main focus right now should be detoxing, not harsh detoxing, but know that like a lot of those chemicals are still really stuck in there, and to whatever you do it gently.
Okay. Yeah.
We're sending you so much love. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. I mean, I could talk to each of these people for 3 hours. All right. What about who's next? Is this Jen? Hi. What is your name? Are you Jen? Did I get that right?
No, I'm Noelle.
Noelle. Hi, Noelle. Welcome.
Hi.
Tell us what's going on.
I'm just trying to figure out what my life purpose is and where I belong and where I fit, and I don't feel like I know any of that, and I feel like it's getting more unclear rather than more clear. And I'm sorry I'm in a loud space.
No, well, you're fine. I'm just staying quiet because Bobbi will start getting.
Yeah. Well, you know, the first thing that comes through is that such a journey, right, to purpose, and whatever the purpose is. Can you hear me? Whatever the purpose is divinely yours, right? There's nobody else that signed up for exactly the purpose that you did, and so it seems, you know, because we're in such a, for a couple years now, we've been in this space of life purpose. Everybody's got to have a life purpose, whatever. And it's important to know that whatever is in your life, anyone's life, your life in this very moment is purposeful and perfect. And in this moment, that is your life purpose, is to be in this moment, and in this moment of compassion for yourself and for your not knowing. And
go ahead.
And that you know, you're being really hard on yourself about it, and you're putting yourself, you're comparing yourself to people. You feel like you're somehow getting left behind, they're saying, and that, you know, that it's making you fold in on yourself. And, you know, good for you for getting yourself out in public. They're saying, good for you for getting out in public today, because it's important. Now try like taking some walks, go find, you know, some trees, go find an ocean, go find nature, and stop worrying so much about it, and start, as you've probably heard us talking to the other women, you know, start leaning in and asking, what did you come here for? You'll hear that in my Breathing Light video as well. Something I say, and Laura knows that, something I say every single day still. What did I say I would do? What did I say I would do? What did I say I would heal? Because it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing in their life, or acting like they're doing, or manufacturing, or busying themselves with, or whatever. We have no idea if that's really anyone's life purpose. We don't know, and it's okay. We send light to it. But for you, we need to give you some space from being so concerned about like getting left behind, or being like a loser, or.
Is that your story? Like, because I was going to ask, why do you need to know your, I mean, I'm not saying we don't want to know our life purpose, but what is it? Why do you want to know? What is it that?
I just feel like, based on what I've been through, that I'm supposed to do something with it. Otherwise it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. So that's, I don't want to say, So that's one of the biggest things that's going on right now that Dr. Laura and I talk about almost every day when one of us is crying. I mean, but seriously, is that not all their, pain to purpose stories can also be private. Our pain to purpose, we're all here in pain. We all came here to live through some stuff, whatever that is, that creates wounds, and also, all the soul level agreements. I mean, we're spirit, that's spiritual truth, and it is a truth. It's not just like spiritual whatever. That is the truth, but you're human, your humanity, if you're trying to, that's why they brought up as like a manufactured purpose. If you're trying to somehow fit, you're not paying. Okay, the biggest thing for you, they're saying, is that you're not even paying attention to your pain anymore or healing it, because you're trying to morph it into something that'll make your pain stop by giving you
because you need a reason for your pain, and the reason for your pain is that your soul, my soul did it too. Listen, and this isn't to minimize your pain, but your soul kind of signed up for it, right? Like wanted the soul growth and the benefits of the healing that are going to come as you continue to heal the things that have happened to you. And the purpose, your purpose may end up being related to that, or you could be working as a barista in a coffee shop, and every interaction you have, the energy of your healing is being transferred to that person, right? You don't, let's say you have sexual trauma, right? Like maybe once you heal some more, it will come that your purpose is to work with trauma victims. But if you are that barista in the coffee shop, your energy of healing and peace and compassion and wholeness translating to every cup you deliver into someone's hand may also be your purpose, right? So I think it's so important what you said, and what Bobbi and them picked up on, this idea that, and it's so powerful that you said that, because I'm with you. I mean, I've struggled with the same thing with all of my trauma, and everyone I know and work with, if I can make meaning out of it, right, then somehow it means there's a God. Maybe somehow it means it's not all in vain. But really, that's not the purpose of that's not our soul's purpose of the trauma. The soul's purpose with the trauma is soul growth, if there is a soul's purpose, right? And out of that come a myriad of purposes. The purpose itself doesn't justify the trauma. Does that make sense?
And
I think I also just want to highlight one more thing you said, Bobbi, which is that it can be so easy to use our purpose as a way to bypass our pain. Right? And I get not freaking wanting to deal with the pain and wanting to move to the purpose, right? I get that.
Yeah.
But the peace you seek won't be found there.
Right. And your journey is private. I mean, we live in humanity and we're out here, right? But like ultimately, your choices, everything were your souls only, with your guides. And it's not it doesn't always have to be, what we perceive as this huge thing. But what is most prevalent in you, everything Laura was saying, but for you, what your guys are saying is like you are trying to bypass that feeling of not worthiness or less than and not good enoughness, and you can't take it anymore. So it hurts that bad, and so you're like, what is my purpose? Well, your purpose right now is to hold yourself and listen to your pain. Ask yourself, ask that little girl. I know that sounds Psych 101, but legit, ask that little girl, what do you need? I don't care about the outside world. We're here alone together. I'm not going to go like sharing your innermost feelings with the whole world, because I need to turn this into something outside of myself as fast as I can.
Yeah. I would also encourage you, there's a book maybe you can listen to or read. I don't know if you're a reader or a listener, but it's called No Bad Parts. No Bad Parts. It's one of the best books out there on connecting with your inner child and really starting to really understand all the different parts of yourself and giving you a pathway. I mean, obviously, it's not going to heal you to read a book, but I think I'm just getting that it would be really helpful to you. It's by a guy, Richard Schwartz is the therapist that wrote it, but it's called No Bad Parts. And I feel like it might really assist you in communing with those parts of yourself that in your effort to heal, you've been accidentally ignoring in your rush to find the meaning for it all. Does that make sense?
And maybe, unsubscribe to all the crap, that's, pardon me, but all the crap that is taking up too much space for you. It's taking up too much space, and it's actually, like it's adding too much. So it's like when Laura says get that book, what Spirit says is like get the book and go find a tree to sit under and read the book, take a journal, be kind to yourself, and know that like your healing is your purpose right now, and being kind to yourself is the purpose right now. Fall in love with yourself. That's the purpose right now.
Yeah, that's your purpose, is to heal. Whatever you're doing for work is a side gig. And your purpose,
people go volunteer somewhere.
Yeah.
You need people.
Yeah. Community. And we are all here, like we've said earlier. I don't know if you were listening before we even started. All of Bobbi's guides and angels came in, and also are bringing in all of yours are all coming in too as each of you come in. And so that the healing is being supported and supercharged and buffered, and all of that is happening even beyond the words that we're speaking. So just know that you are supported and your healing is supported, and that's all you need to do. That's all you need to do is be with yourself and come home to yourself and hold yourself and heal yourself with compassion and get support where you need it, but don't get distracted by all the Insta stories of everybody living their purpose.
Yeah. And lastly, I wish we were saying if we had all day to do this, we would. But there's something just to give you a little inkling, like even if you end up volunteering for now, like in an old folks home or an Alzheimer's place, that's something that is like, wow, you're really, what a gift to the people that you could serve in that community.
Okay.
Thank you. Keep us posted, okay, on how you're doing.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, we have 7 minutes left. Let's try to take one more. Who's next, Sam?
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I can barely see.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, we can hear you, but we can't see you. It's dark.
That's a good thing.
Okay. We'll just all right. Well, just tell us your name and and where you are. Oh, there you are, Kelly.
The light then.
Yay.
Hi.
I know what a big deal it was for you to call in, Kelly.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can. Thank you for
Dr.
coming
Laura.
in. Tell us what's going on.
Big fan. Thank you, ladies, for doing this. I feel the shelter already from you both.
Good.
The grief kind of, and I know Dr. Berman knows, but
okay, take your time.
Not there. I'm just not there for the grief of my parents. Yeah. And I know I'm not alone, but I'm just looking for them in certain rooms. And today would have been their 55th wedding anniversary.
Their 55th?
Today would have been their 55th wedding anniversary.
55th wedding anniversary. Yeah, just so you know, Bobbi, Kelly follows me and on Instagram, and we're from the same hometown, and
Cool.
she's wanted to come on so many times and doesn't like being in public, and I'm always telling her, come on. So I'm so glad that she's here. And I know
Me
you know
too.
that the loss of your parents was a really big loss.
We,
And one you're still struggling with. So let's see what Bobbi brings in.
Well, I just have a couple. So how long ago was this?
it's it'll be 5 years this October, and we lost Mom in November. So they both died very close together, and my brother and I were there when they passed. Sorry, I'm shaking a little bit.
That's okay.
Take some breaths.
Do some tapping.
We're doing it for you. Yeah, I mean, because first and foremost, right, you're the most important thing here today in this moment, right? Because you're the one still in a body, and you're the one that still needs to take care of yourself and still needs to breathe and still needs to know that like you're a strong woman, right? And that they're with you all around you, not just in specific rooms. So what is it about the specific room for you?
I guess certain times of the year, but I mean, I know their energy lives in, I mean, all of us, but it's just, I mean, I think it's gotten better, but there are some days I just don't even want to be around people, but that's why I have to move. Like right now, I could probably just, don't feel like I have to hit pillows right now, but it just, I still think I forget that they're gone. I just, and I haven't seeked help.
You
I
haven't seeked help?
have not seeked help.
So do you feel like, I mean, Laura's the expert on, I mean, I guess I hang out with people on the other side all day, but do you have a sense, or are you open to the fact that you may not be seeking help or want help, because then it would actually mean they're gone? So if you can suspend getting the help and moving through your grief, and your heart gets to stay broken, then then you're perhaps internalizing that that's how you're keeping them with you. That's
We lose connection.
That's what's coming through the most, Dr. Laura, is
well, I mean, I believe you that's a very common reason. The other reason is that often, I mean, these aren't the only two reasons, is that if I heal, that somehow that diminishes what they meant to me. Like if I move on, and that means it's okay, they're gone. And if I'm okay, that means it's okay, they're gone. So it's sort of the other side of the coin of what you're saying. But I think what you were starting to get at, Bobbi, whatever the reason is, you're going to be in this pain until you start healing the grief and doing the grief work. And what I think is inherent to whatever the reason you're not dealing with the pain is the fear that they're really not still here. And even when you were saying that, like, I know their energy's in all of us, right? Like, no, their energy's in all of us, but they are also right there with you. They are right there. And so I'm wondering if you can speak to that a little bit, Bobbi, because I feel like if she understands that no matter how much she heals or doesn't heal, that's the truth.
What is it? What they want me to ask is, what is it that you would say? Like, what is this unfinished business? What is this, or are you conscious of it? Like your guides are saying and perhaps, right, perhaps your parents are going to step back just to try to empower you to be, because there's something going on or in here for you around, child wounding and things like that you feel that you have lost the opportunity to heal, and you're a bit frozen in time. So what would you say to them? What would you say to your mom right now if she were in that room that you're looking for her in?
I carry that guilt with me because I was the one. I feel as though this is just the guilt that I carry with me. That if I hadn't unplugged those lights, she would have never been out front plugging the lights in, because I was the one that did it, and I wasn't there when she was out there. But anyway, that's so when I go past the house, but I know we shouldn't live in the past and everything, but I guess that guilt is still with me that I unplugged the lights, and if she wasn't out there, she would have never fell, or, but, but anyway.
So you unplugged the lights and then she went out to fix them and she fell, and
Correct.
that ultimately caused her death?
Correct.
Oh, yeah. So, okay.
Blood clot to the knee but anyway, that's, so
Yeah.
it's really, even my aunt will tell me, Kelly, you can't blame yourself, because I had blamed myself when we were in the hospital. And but anyway, I would just say, Mom, but we're going to miss her the rest of our lives, but we know we have to go on. We have to finish strong, as I tell my twin sister, because I try to make sure that she's all right. But I have to be responsible for my own self. And I want to finish strong, but and I know I can. I feel the shelter. I really do. I thank you for doing this. It's just getting over that.
Yeah. You know what? Because you're in such a, even though, and I've lost both of my parents. My dad, I was 20 when my dad was killed in a car accident, and my mom died 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago. So I understand, right? It shifts and changes, but it never leaves, right? It never leaves us. And, but the thing that can really shift a lot of your pain is to start really being in acceptance and playing with and trying on and moving into the reality that, like, they're just not in their bodies anymore, that they're literally with you, and that they're not in pain, they're not in age, they're not all those things, that you are the one being left with this pain, that they're not in the physical form, but they're so purposeful and useful if you let them be, right? So like, your mom is not this frail being, she's a powerhouse, just like you are, right? So there's this, like, stop. They keep talking about, like, you suspended in time, like you suspending your life, like that it's somehow like like not a temple to them, an altar, or something like that, where, like, because you're suspended in that, had I just done the thing with the lights, right? It's like it's literally like this.
Yeah, it just keeps you frozen and stuck.
That's where you're at, is literally frozen. And so they're giving you permission, or asking you to have the courage to know that, like, all is well, and your life goes on. You've got to focus on your own health. You can't let yourself diminish health-wise. They're more concerned about you, this woman, because you're not a little girl, right? You're not a 10-year-old that, right, that has to grieve the loss. You're a powerful woman who has the responsibility to take care of yourself.
Right.
And then you can ask them for help doing that. And they want you to ask them for help. They are not frail, you know.
Yeah. You know, one of the things I would love for you to listen to or read, although I love listening to it because she's got such a beautiful accent and voice, is a book called Dying to Be Me by Anita Morjani. And I did a podcast with her a while back too about it. But she died and ended up coming back. And it's quite an astounding story in and of that. But
Wow.
the most important thing about the story is what happens to us when we die.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
And who we really are when we die. And, you know, it took me a while to even get to this point with Sammy, because in my mind, he's still a 16-year-old kid, you know, but his soul, just like all of our souls, is timeless, you know, is eons old and powerful and not at all a little boy. He has, you know, a little bit of the same humor and kind of not snarkiness, but kind of like teasiness as a soul that his human personality had. But he is so much bigger and stronger and wiser and eternal. And like he's wiser than the wisest man I'll ever meet or woman I'll ever meet, you know, even though he was a 16-year-old boy in this lifetime. And so it took me a while to figure out like how to even relate to him that way. Like you know, but as I did, I've really started to lean on him as like an extremely potent and powerful spiritual guide. And so I only say that to offer you about your parents, you know, our souls. This is one of the things he has told me, and others have, like Bobbi and others have told me, that our souls choose when to go. Our bodies don't choose when to go, but our souls, we have many opportunities to die. Our souls decide when to die. So your mother's soul decided to leave, as you know, it was not, you just happened to do something, right? But her soul chose to leave at that time. And I know that statement isn't necessarily going to take away all aspects of guilt you feel, but I do think it's really important to start looking at how to relate to your parents, not as the frail victims that you are seeing them as, but what you'll find when you listen or read Anita's book is that it is a huge, I mean, none of us want to die, but it's evidently quite a huge relief when we do.
It's incredible. I've worked with people, children as they're crossing over. I've been in hospital rooms to help people leave their bodies. I've this one little girl that I'll never forget, Addie. She had cancer, density being called cancer, and she pretty much within the 30 minutes of leaving her body, of course, her mother was devastated, and you know, she was texting with me, and Addie already had such beautiful, she had a big lollipop, which I didn't know that was her thing, she had a dog, like she came through with so much, told her mom what dress she was wearing, that happened to be her favorite, like all these beautiful things. So we leave the pain of our human mind. We're not in this illusion of everything being hard anymore, or that we've done anything, you know, or that this or that. Like we are greeted.
We're just pure love and joy and oneness and abundance, and there is no pain, emotional, physical, or anything. And it's like you've suddenly come out of a straitjacket that you didn't know you were in. And so I say that not to say that, you know, all of us should go and die, but I say that because your parents are not victims.
Right.
They are brilliant.
They could not be apart. One couldn't sleep without the other one. When my father had passed from cancer, she wanted him home, and it was like they were finishing each other's sentence. He said, "I know you want me home." And he had died at home, and that was the first time that I had ever had somebody pass in front of me.
Yeah.
And I remember asking my mom, I said, "Why is Dad making those noises?" And she said, "Because he's dying, Kel." And it just, I don't, you know, but it was one of the night before, he said, leave the ceiling fan light on. And we were like, okay, Dad, okay. And whether he was going towards the light then, I don't know, but it was like, okay, Dad, whatever you want,
Yeah.
because I stayed on the top floor in case he needed us. He rang a bell in case he needed medicine, but it was.
She probably, her soul, I'm not saying she wanted to go, although maybe she did, but her soul was ready to go. And so whatever the reason is, you know, nothing needs to kill us, right? There's people that have miracle cures of horrible diseases and miracle recoveries all the time. Our souls choose when to go. And I say that just to the guilty part in you, but also just to really recognize that your parents are free now. They are together. They are pure love. They are happy. Yes, Bobbi, go.
Also, what a beautiful gift to be raised by two souls who are so connected that they left together. That was a plan. It was always the plan, and they stuck to their plan. And I mean, we all have intense love, but like that's a deep. The same thing happened with Kobe Bryant. I know it's some people might hear this as harsh. Yes, it's tragic, but when I heard, I would know where I was. I was in Boston when I saw that come through on my phone, and I cried because I thought, how beautiful that those two left together. They were that connected on a soul level. And so, you know, I think, yes, of course it's tragic, you know, here it's a great loss. What a profound, beautiful thing that you got to witness so much love between your parents.
We did. And I got to do a lot of things with my mom, and a lot of people don't get a chance to do that. And my dad, I miss those fishing days, but I got all of those.
Go fishing with him.
Yeah,
I go on walks with Sammy all the time. I go to the beach with him all the time. I mean, obviously it's not the same, but I hear him, I feel him, I know he's there, but it requires the guilt blocks that, right? The guilt and the shame is in the way of that, and it's not guilt and shame that is yours to hold. It is not.
Let it go. Now the stored pain, can that lead to physical pain as far as like in the neck and the?
Well, you're not taking care of yourself, honey. That's the biggest thing that Spirit's talking about today is you have put, when you're in that freeze frame, frozen in time, you've stopped caring for yourself in a very real, fundamental way. And so you have to unfreeze yourself and get back into your body because you are still alive, like it or not.
Well, I did get a massage yesterday, so I treated myself to a massage yesterday. So
good. That's great.
And those trigger points she hit were just, I can't explain it. It was like, whoa, you know. So anyway.
Good for you.
I promised myself that I would do that every month. So
every month, you better kick that up a notch. But
well, really, what gets me relaxed is the hot stone massage, because it takes me a while to get relaxed. And on a little sexual note, who knew that sex gives you energy?
Oh, I could have told you that.
It's like, holy. I mean, because I was like out of energy. I was like, but anyway.
No, that's great. And also,
I was like,
you can heat up stones yourself.
Oh, okay.
You know, you can take care of yourself like that. You can heat up stones and lay out, you know, like we can do those things. If that's what feels good to you, or ask somebody else to put them on you. They're just,
ask your sex partner to do a little stone massage on you.
How do you know if they're too hot, though?
You don't know, right?
You'll know just make them a little warm. Put them in some warm water.
Oh boy. All right. Thank you, ladies.
I hope that helps, Kelly. And I hope we've given you a place to start. I really hope you'll listen or read to that book, because I think it will really give you a different perspective on where your parents are now. And maybe also, when you're ready, check out grief.com. David Kessler, who's the leading grief expert, has all sorts of resources and grief groups and grief counselors that he's trained. So when you are ready to really start, because what we don't want and what can happen is that we sort of stay stuck, like Bobbi was saying, kind of frozen in time. And then it becomes, complex grief versus just basic grief. So that doesn't mean to rush you or to say that this is mandatory and bad things are going to happen if you don't start dealing with your grief. But I do really want you to, because the sooner you start dealing with it, the sooner you can start moving it through, you feeling healthier, feeling more energy, feeling less pain, emotionally or physically. And, move forward, which does not mean moving away from them at all. In fact, it often means moving closer to them.
Yeah. Making the space to just let that be the truth. But what's coming through as we also wrap, so thank you for bringing this into the space and sharing your loss. But, something that I've talked to Laura about, and there's a video that I did, it must be like 2 years now, that the message that came through, which they wanted me to reiterate in this moment, is that souls are leaving in the masses as an agreement to get on the other side so that they can support us in the now. Because look at the state of things, and also not just the state of the things here in the physical world, but like we are in an energetic, massive upshifting, and there's a lot of struggle going on. And we need the help and we need the support, and they've crossed at this time in order to also serve that purpose of all ages. You're seeing mass casualties and all these other things. So I like to say,
it's happening in mass, and I've gotten that message many times too. I just keep saying, thank you for your service.
Yes, I say thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Every single time I hear of something or I read something, no matter how harsh it, of a tragedy, and every loss is a tragedy, but to always just say thank you for your service.
Yes.
Does that help, Kelly, at all? I know it's a sad day. We wish them happiest anniversary. They're dancing.
Yes,
they're dancing together right now, enjoying themselves and surrounding you with so much love.
Thank you. I love you all, and thank you. I feel the shelter.
Thank you. Good.
All right, Bobbi, we didn't get to everyone, but I want to say to anyone who's there's a couple people still in the green room, we are going to do this again, probably in another 2 or 3 weeks. You'll see on the screen, follow Bobbi at ethericmedicine.bobbi. You can follow me at Dr. Laura Berman. We're always posting in advance, usually at least a week in advance before we go live. And I'm in the process, and so is Bobbi, but for me, I'm in the process of moving and getting a kid off to college, so it's just not consistent. We will get more consistent with this, and you'll be able to predict the dates. But in the meantime, the next time, just make sure you come on right at 2 into the green room so that you get in the queue and that you're one of the first 4. We're always going to take, at least for now, we're going to take 4 people, which is as many, and we still went a little bit over, which is as many as we can fit in an hour. So we're figuring this out as we go along. Anything you want to say in closing, beloved Bobbi?
No, just, thank you for everybody who, not just the people that came on, thank you to them for bringing messages into the space for all of us, for everybody who's listening, and the energy that was brought in, and the reorganization that Spirit did here, is for all of us, for all of you who listen, and for all of you who are listening to the replay. You can breathe in the same beautiful energy and ask for help, and be infused.
Be infused. We're sending you so much love, and we will see you soon back in the shelter with Bobbi and Laura and Bobbi.